Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something really fascinating. It sounds simple on the surface, but it's actually incredibly deep. The, the amazing benefits of music education for kids. Our main source for this is a great article from the Stalybridge Music Academy, and it really shows how learning music goes, well, way beyond just enjoying a tune.
It really does. And what's so interesting about their perspective is that they frame music education, when it's done right, as this really powerful catalyst for growth. It's not just teaching a kid an instrument,
Ah,
right? It's actively nurturing this whole set of key skills, skills that really stick with them for life, shaping them physically, psychologically, even spiritually.
exactly. So our mission today, for you listening, is to unpack how music kind of acts as this shortcut to, well, holistic development. We're hoping to share some insights that might genuinely surprise you, give you a real practical sense of how musical training offers so much more than just, you know, playing notes, ready to get into it, a full brain workout, boosting mental dexterity and academic achievement. Okay, so diving in. Reading that Stalybridge Music Academy piece, one thing that really jumped out was this description of music as a full brain workout. We hear that phrase, but what does it really mean for a child's brain? Like, how is learning an instrument hitting all these different areas at once?
Yeah, that's a great starting point because it's not just a nice phrase, it's actually grounded in neuroscience. See, when a child learns music, they're doing so many things simultaneously. They're processing sound, obviously, controlling their muscles to play, reading the notes visually, and even tapping into emotional centers for expression. All that intense multisensory stuff, it actually promotes significant neuroplasticity. Basically, a brain's ability to rewire itself and form new connections.
Uh,
And this reshaping strengthens the pathways for things like memory, attention span, complex thinking, executive functions. That's why you see such a direct link to better academic performance overall. It's like their brain is building, well, bigger, faster highways for information. Two, developing problem-solving abilities and mathematical understanding. And building right on that cognitive boost, just the act of doing music, presents all these unique challenges. And these challenges really sharpen a child's ability to solve problems. I mean, think about it. A kid has to figure out a tricky score, or why a note sounds wrong, or adjust their playing to match others. They're constantly analyzing, troubleshooting, finding creative fixes on the fly.
right. And what I found really fascinating, and the source mentions this, is how that practical problem solving connects so directly to understanding math, which seems like a leap, but maybe it isn't.
No, it really isn't a leap at all. The connection is much deeper than most people think. It's more than just seeing rhythms as fractions, although that's part of it. Kids are dealing with ratios when they figure out intervals, spatial reasoning when they navigate a keyboard or strings, the patterns in music, the structure of harmony, even the physics of sound. It all mirrors mathematical principles. So it becomes this intuitive, sort of hands-on way for them to grasp ideas like symmetry, sequences, proportion, stuff you usually find in a math book, but they're experiencing it first. Three, fostering self-expression, emotional literacy, and confidence.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit to something else that's just crucial for kids. Self-expression. The Stanley Academy article really highlights how learning an instrument gives kids this unique way to communicate non-verbally, for feelings or ideas they might struggle to put into words.
Yeah, and that nonverbal channel, it's incredibly powerful for building emotional literacy. Just imagine a child who's maybe a bit shy or finds it hard to talk about complicated feelings. Music gives them a safe space, a structured way to explore joy, sadness, frustration, whatever it is.
Hmm.
And then, when a child finally nails a tough piece or performs for someone, even just family, that feeling of accomplishment, it's not just a quick boost, it's really foundational. It builds genuine confidence and self-esteem. It gives them this deep sense of, I can do this, which, spills over into everything else they do. It's about finding their voice, sometimes without needing any words at all.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
Cultivating discipline, teamwork, and a resilient mindset. So moving beyond the individual stuff, the article also talks about how music education builds these vital life skills. Things like discipline. How does that work?
Well, it really boils down to consistency, doesn't it? Regular practice, even if it's just, say, 15 minutes a day, teaches dedication. Kids learn pretty quickly that putting in steady effort, even small amounts, leads to real progress. That instills the value of working towards a goal, bit by bit, and that builds self-discipline, focus habits that are useful everywhere, right? School, work, anything.
And it's not always solo, is it? That collaborative side seems just as important.
Oh, absolutely. That's where teamwork really comes into play. Being in an ensemble, a band, an orchestra, It pushes cooperation in a really unique way. Kids have to learn active listening, not just hearing, but really listening, to blend their sound, to sync up, to adapt to what others are doing.
Right.
It's basically a masterclass in working together, understanding group dynamics, how your part contributes to the whole.
The article also makes this great point. Learning an instrument, it's a journey, not a sprint. There are always going to be struggles, right? Plateaus.
Exactly. And that journey aspect is precisely what helps build resilience. Kids learn firsthand that real progress takes time and effort, and hitting roadblocks is just normal, part of learning. So they learn to value the process, the effort, not just the final performance. Every tricky technique they master, every piece they finally conquer after struggling, it's a lesson in perseverance. Vital skills for navigating, well, life. V, unleashing creativity and imaginative capacity.
Okay, one of my favorite takeaways, personally, was this idea of music as the ultimate playground for the mind. It sounds like it's not just about rules and notes, but really unlocking imagination.
You're absolutely right. It goes way beyond just reading the notes on the page. Music actively encourages kids to interpret, put their own spin on things, to improvise, even compose their own stuff. That directly taps into their creativity. Music offers this amazing, rich, yet safe structure to explore feelings, ideas, even abstract concepts. And that really boosts their imaginative capacity. It fosters that kind of nonlinear thinking.
And this is where it gets really interesting for me. The article argues this helps kids think outside the box, see connections maybe others don't. It actually uses the phrase, a polymathic approach to learning. That sounds significant. What does that actually look like?
Yeah, the polymathic approach, as Stalybridge Academy describes it, is basically about developing the ability to connect ideas and knowledge across different fields that might seem unrelated at first glance. So, for instance, recognizing the math and rhythm or understanding the history behind a piece of music, it trains the brain to think more holistically.
Okay.
It's not just about being good at music and math, say. It's about cultivating a mindset that naturally looks for those interdisciplinary links. And that kind of thinking is key for real innovation and creative problem solving. It helps them see the bigger picture.
The article even gives this really charming example mentioning Musizone characters like dragons and stars. What are those about? How do they fit in?
Yes, the Musizone characters. That's actually part of the Staley Academy's own teaching method, a core part of how they do things. So instead of just learning scales in isolation, a child might learn a melody linked to a story about a dragon's flight, or maybe the feeling of a star's twinkle. This kind of imaginative storytelling, woven right into the lessons with pictures, maybe poems or songs, it makes abstract musical ideas like pitch or tempo or dynamics feel more real, more memorable, and definitely more fun for young kids.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's a really clever way to fuse narrative with the music itself, making sure creativity stays right at the heart of learning. Outro.
So wrapping up this deep dive, it feels pretty clear that music education offers this incredibly rich tapestry of benefits, doesn't it? It goes so far beyond just playing an instrument, touching on a child's physical, psychological, and, as you said, even spiritual growth.
Absolutely. I think what we've explored today really shows music isn't just, an extra. It's a genuinely powerful, multifaceted tool for developing the whole child. It nurtures so many essential parts of who they are and who they can become.
Yeah. So maybe a final thought for you to ponder. How might these unique skills that music cultivates, we're talking critical thinking, problem solving, that emotional resilience, even that polymathic way of seeing connections, how might that uniquely set up a child, not just for doing well in school, but for really navigating the sheer complexity of life, the ups and downs, and maybe even, for shaping the future in ways we haven't even thought of yet? Something powerful to consider, definitely.